In a town where fog would never lift. Saturday, a school with halls forever adrift. Children whispered of eerie lore, about a vending machine near hallway 4, not stocked with chips or fizzy drink fizz, but things you'd never think would exist. A child's shoe, a finger bone, a porcelain doll with eyes full grown. You'd insert a coin, hear a strange clunk. Out came an item dusty, shrunk. But rumor claimed that late at night, it gave more than snacks or frightful sight. Ben was dared to give it a try. At 3 a.m., when the moon rode high, he fed it a quarter, heard gears moan, and out popped a mirror with blood and bone. He stared into it, heart a pound, and saw himself but flipped around. His mirror self smiled, then gave a nod, then stepped right out a silent god. Now there are 2 Bens at the school, one who smiles and one who drools. And if you pass that vending slot, don't make a wish, just maybe not. Lacy print, in floral bloom, hung in Sarah's vintage room. Peeling edges, faded rose, held a secret no one knows. She moved in, boxes stacked, with creaky floorboards at her back, her mirror fogged with icy breath. Though she'd not moved, she'd whispered, "Death," in patterns near the closet door. A girl's face stared, and then no more. At first it seemed a trick of light, until it smiled each haunted night. "Come play with me," the wallpaper said. Each syllable filled Sarah with dread, but sleep-deprived and curious too. She touched the spot and straight fell through. She woke within a papered world, where roses wept and vines unfurled, and in that space between the seams were shattered girls and broken dreams. Now in her room the walls still breathe and whisper secrets through the eaves. And once a year, if you peer just right, you'll see Sarah's eyes glowing at night. In a house where shadows softly crept, lived Mr. Buttons while the children slept, a stitched-up man with eyes of thread, who borrowed skin from folks long dead. They said he'd knock just twice, not 3. If you answered, you set him free. A little boy named Jace did grin when he heard the knock and let him in. Mr. Buttons smiled so wide and pulled a coat of human hide. "Too small for me," he said with glee, "but just your size, now come with me." Jace was missed for just a week. Then he came back, but pale and meek. He wore a coat stitched to his frame and never again answered to his name. Now kids report, when skies turn black, they feel him brush against their back. A hollow knock-on, then 2, and a whisper, "I think this skin will do." So bolt your doors and don't be rash. Don't let him trade your soul for cash. Mr. Buttons stitches well, it's true, but the thread he uses might be you. In Wicker's Glen, where the cold winds bite, and trees claw stars through moonless night, a cabin stood with creaking frame, where no one stayed, yet all knew its name. The forest whispered, the river moaned, and midnight crows in circles groaned. The lanterns died at 3:10, the devil's hour, as folks agree. Old Mama Ray, with her crow-black shawl, would sit on the porch and recall it all. The screams, the fog, the scratch at the sill, the children's eyes, so deep and still. "They come," she'd say, with shaking breath, "where silence walks and air smells death. Their faces pale, their voices thin. Don't let them cry to be let in." The tale began in 82, when snowfall turned the pines to blue. The Hammond twins, just barely 10, were last seen near the hollowed fen. They chased a cat through silver trees, past snapping limbs and humming bees. They vanished there without a trace. Not even snow held sign or face. For weeks they searched both hill and glen, with dogs and lights and 50 men. The town fell, still just whispered fears, and mothers wept through sleepless years. Then came the night, in '85, when something strange came down the drive. A knock too soft, too slow, too cold. At Sarah Kent's, a widow old. Through frost-laced glass she saw them stand, 2 children pale, with twitching hands. "Please, ma'am," they said, "our mother's gone. Let us inside. We won't stay long." Their clothes were wrong too neat, too clean. Their hair was stiff, a waxen sheen. Their mouths too still when they did speak. Their breath not fogged, their skin too sleek. But strangest yet were eyes like tar, no white within, just endless scar, like empty wells where light was drowned, and silent screams forever bound. She reached the door, her fingers froze. An urge to run rose in her toes, but something held her where she stood, a scent of rot beneath the wood. Then came the voix snow from her head, but near her ear, like ghosts long dead. "Let us in, just for the night. We promise we won't bite or fight." She slammed the door, the power blew, the shadows crawled, the cold winds grew, and in the pain, where moonlight bled, 2 hollow eyes just stared and fed. That night, she prayed with cracking lips, her cross clutched tight in shaking grip. By dawn, the prints were gone again, but echoes stirred in Wicker's glen. The years went by, but they returned. Each winter night when fires burned, they'd knock at doors with lifeless grace, those eerie smiles on every face. Some townsfolk let them in, it said, drawn by pity, fear, or dread. Those who did were never right. Their minds grew blank. They shunned the light. One man, Jed Hall, he let them through, then vanished when the rooster flew. They found him days out by the fen, eyes gouged and mouth full up with sand. "They're not alive," old Mama weeps. "They're born from where the darkness sleeps. Not ghosts, nor ghouls, nor devil's kin, just something cold that mimics skin. They say it started long ago. A plague, a curse, a wicked woe. A coven near the hanging rock had summoned things no spell could block. They tried to bind what came that day, but children died, and skies turned grey. The land was marked, the glen grew ill, and time stood still upon that hill. Now every decade, when the snow returns to choke the world below, the children come to steal a face, to take your name and leave no trace. So if you're near old Wicker's glen, and hear a knock past 10:30, don't answer it, don't make a sound. Don't let those hollow kids come round. And if you see them in the dark, their skin too still, their eyes too stark, remember this, they know your name, and once you speak, you join their game. It's true, they say, just ask old Ray. She hasn't slept since that cursed day, for on her porch she still recalls the tapping hands, the shadowed calls. So heed this rhyme, this winter tale, when footsteps crunch the frozen trail. Not all who knock are born of men. Beware the children of Wicker's glen. The house was old, the floors would groan, a place I'd never sleep alone. The landlord said, "It's cheap, just take it," but something dark was there to wake it. I signed the lease and dragged my bags, my breath like fog on window tags. The walls were damp, the air was thick. The door would shut, but not from wind. A neighbor warned, "Don't stay past 9. The last who lived here lost their mind." I laughed it off, just superstition. But then I heard the faint addition. The clock struck 12. The house held still, until I heard it soft, but shrill. A voice not mine, yet close, so near. A whispered name inside my ear. I spun around, no soul in sight, just peeling paint and dying light. Then from the closet came a knock, 3 heavy raps, the door unlocked. Next morning, digging through the dust, I found a photo, stained with rust. A family, smiling, bright and young, but scratched out eyes, and something wrong. The date was 59, the day. The papers said they faded away. No trace, no note, just empty beds, except the whispers in my head. I searched the attic, flashlight dim, and found a journal, cracked and grim. The father wrote, "She stands and stares, the girl who wasn't ever there." The last page marked in frantic scrawl, "She's in the walls, she's in us all." Then silence, till the walls replied, with tiny hands that pressed inside. Now when you walk past elm and pine, you'll see my for rent sign shine. But listen close when night descends. You'll hear us whisper, "Welcome in."